The anticipation always.
Yes.
I'm waiting for that. Go
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Welcome to Level Up AI Summit Series. I'm Rob Capello, and today I'm joined by Anita Parker.
Hello, Rob. Buongiorno.
Yeah, we just found out we might be related.
We might be. Our family's from the same region in Italy.
So it's kind of funny, and everyone is. So, Anita, you're from Wisdom, Wealth, and Wellbeing, and you've come on board as a sponsor for our AI Summit on September 27th. So thank you.
My pleasure. I'm very excited for this summit.
We are too.
Amazing.
We were talking before we came on air, and we're like, we got to be quiet because we're talking about all this AI stuff. So we got to. Before we jump in, though, I start all these this way, is that a big thank you, because we cannot host events like this if people like yourselves don't come on board as sponsors. So this is a community event. It's not about us, it's about the community. So thank you for stepping up and being a sponsor, because again, we can't run these without having our business sponsors come on board.
It's truly a pleasure.
Yeah. Awesome. So Anita, before we jump in and talk about the AI Summit, I'd love to talk a little bit about what you do and who you are. Okay. And I did hear a little bit that if I give you a mic, you can belt out an amazing song for us, because I did see that you're like background and singing and dancing.
I can sing. Yes, I can. I mean, I don't know if we have room for me to dance.
Yeah. But. So what's your background at? What tell us about Wisdom, Wealth, and Wellbeing, and
Yes, I can give you a quick snapshot.
Sure.
We are an organization, an international organization that hosts events that bring community connection, belonging, and through that, panel speakers, keynote speakers, workshops, etc. And we help empower and really help install wisdom to help people grow, personally and professionally. Okay. And we have fun while we're doing it.
I say, of course you would.
Absolutely.
So do you host them quarterly, monthly? Like how are the events happening?
Yes. So how the events are happening from coast to coast here in Canada, the US, and in France is they're monthly events. We do take breaks during the summer and during the holidays. And they are monthly. And they're focused on different topics to help you grow in different areas of life, as I mentioned, personally, professionally, in the wellness sector, which is so vast.
Right.
And then we also do toured events that actually go through the country. We'll now be going into the US, which is super exciting.
That is cool.
Eventually into Europe, because we are growing beyond France. So that's really exciting. And that's what we do.
Interesting.
We really want to empower human beings to embrace, to grow, to elevate, to sustain, and then grow again.
Interesting. So
repeat.
When's the next event?
The next event here in Kelowna is September 25th.
Oh, it's coming up?
It's coming up. It's at Body Bar Kelowna. They are one of our sponsors. And it will focus on PR. Public relations,
That's a great topic.
It's a necessary topic if you want to grow as a business, as a brand. Yes.
And it's changed so much. Like, I've been in this business for 20 years now, and PR has evolved so much even in the last few years. So that's interesting. That'd be a great discussion.
Yeah, and the speaker, we haven't announced her yet. Well, we have a couple speakers.
All good.
These are experts, and this is the thing. Right. We bring experts in the different industries to give this. I get excited about it because I am a sponge for information, and the people that are coming to these events are the same. They want to grow. They want a community where they can grow, and they're going to get that growth here. Right.
Interesting. So I do have to ask. So I did hear that you're a dental hygienist for 20 years or something like. I'm curious about what made where did that switch come? You're like, I'm going to leave after 20 years and go do something completely different.
Yeah, I'm 26 years in the dental profession. I was on my way out of my career at the end of 2019. Okay. I was actually finishing my degree. At 45, I went back to school.
Good for you.
Finished my degree.
Love it.
And because I wanted to teach.
Right.
And so I needed to move out of clinic. The profession was literally physically damaging my body. And then we all know what happened in 2020. Right. We don't need to talk about it. And so I had to reinvent myself. And so I did. And I started an online business and social network marketing.
Interesting.
And that gave me so many tools. So that aha moment of the world shifting. And when it was time to go back to work and they were letting dental offices open back up, I'm like, I don't want to go back to this.
Right.
And so I was, within 10 months, I had retired. And in the beginning of 2021, I was done my career. I'm like, I'm going to keep growing.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Good for you.
Thank you.
And now you're here today.
I know.
I'm sure there's a lot in between, but we'll have to leave that for another discussion.
It's another time.
So why, I'm curious, let's talk about AI. Let's talk about the AI Summit. What motivated you to become involved in the AI Summit? Like what appealed to you? Because I always say businesses have, you only have so much time, you have so much energy, so much dollars. Why this summit? Like what appealed to you?
This one was really important to me. Being in business now has shifted, even like you said, in the last 2 years, but really in the last 10 years, going and, thinking about social media, first of all, because that is where I've generated most of what I've done, is the simplicity now with AI. And that's just a very small little speck of what AI can do to help support me. Supports me in a lot of ways in my business. So for me, it was like, I have so much to learn. And when I saw this come up, I'm like, I want to learn how to embrace this, because I will be honest with you, when AI first came to light, I was like,
what's going to happen?
I felt threatened. And I think everybody still feels threatened. They're like, it's going to replace me. It's going to this. It's, we naturally, organically go into that fight or flight mode when we're trying to digest if something's good or bad.
Right.
And we go to
the negative side.
The fear. We go in fear when we don't understand.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I was reading today, totally different. Seth Godin,
Yes.
So I subscribe to Seth Godin. I get an email every day. And today he's talking about how these professions have all evolved. Law firms, dental, all the lists on how they've evolved to where they started 20 years ago, 50 years ago. But guess what? There's all people still involved in them.
There is.
Right? So it's not like, I think that's the fear that there's going to be all these robots and everyone. Hey, maybe, and who knows where it's coming. But today, it's a tool rather than it's replacing people in my mind, right? So,
I agree with you completely, Rob. It is such an incredible tool to actually help us in making life easier for us. Right. It replaces a lot of admin stuff. Yep. I don't know about you. I'd rather focus on 100%. Working on my business, helping it flourish, than doing tedious. I've never liked the tedious paperwork stuff. I can generate, no problem.
Right.
It's like that behind. This is brilliant to help in this. AI is actually a gift. And if we could move away from the fear factor and bring in and embrace the fact that this is going to actually help us elevate. And that's what I feel like AI has done. Again, I only know this much.
Right.
That's why I can't wait for this summit, because I'm going to know so much more. And it's going to help me elevate even more, which I'm excited for, because that allows me to create more impact.
Interesting. So you said you're using it right now. Like how much were you using it? What are you playing around with now when it comes to AI?
Well, I would say like a year ago when I heard about AI, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's cool. Didn't really, I would hear the words and I'm like, whatever. And then like running multiple businesses and generating different ideas and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm going to give this a little try.
Right.
And so I started dialing in and I'm like, oh my gosh. And the more you speak to it, the more dialed in you get. I just had someone tell me about a different AI program like a week ago that's even better than the one I'm using now. And I'm like, I want to be more dialed in, because I'm in a position where I need to be with that knowledge to help me and to help others.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm an intelligent human being. And why do I not want to gain more knowledge and wealth to
100%.
grow?
100%. Well, and like you said before, I love that you said that if we could use these tools so we can do what our superpowers are.
Yes.
Right. To not, like, I'm not a details person as well. So if I can use it to do that tasks that I'm not good at, and I can do what I love and help my clients even more in the meantime, it's a win-win.
It is. And like, even from this morning, I had to send a message back, and I'm chatting with my husband about like, hey, like how, like, what are your thoughts? We're troubleshooting. He goes, let's just ask chat.
Yeah.
Let's just ask chat, because I want to always come across in a respectful
For sure.
manner and compassionate manner. And AI can like elevate that for me. And it actually, while it's helping and assisting us, Rob, here's the thing. It is literally a new way of learning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
it's education.
100%.
People are like, oh, people don't need to have an education anymore. They can use chat. This is going to help grow your brain, your knowledge. Like, let's shift the narrative.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because when I first started using it, a lot of people are saying, well, you're not using your brain. It's like, and I'm like, I see it the complete opposite. It's actually pushing me way more. I'm doing way more learning now than I did 5 years ago. Way more, like every day.
Yes. I agree with you completely. I'm like, this is like, our generation encyclopedias.
Yeah, exactly.
And then from I don't even think you can get those anymore.
No.
And then from that came like the University of Google,
right.
which was amazing.
Right.
And it's still good.
Yeah.
And now this is like, we are like doing our masters, our PhDs. It's like, just as a comparison, like this is, I'm like, clearly I'm excited about AI.
Well, and there's so much to explore. Like, I'm doing a little workshop even just today in our boardroom. And so I'm trying to learn and look, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much. Like, there's AI sales agents, and there's AI integrated into pretty much, AI is integrated into pretty much everything we do nowadays anyways.
It is.
Like, and it's been around for a while. It didn't just get launched. Like, ChatGPT is fairly newish, but it's in our lives. Like it already is, right? So, but not to the level it is today. That's where, like, and now it's more like the crazy where you could type something in and a video pops out, and then looks like it's just crazy. It hurts my brain.
That one is interesting. Like I haven't gone to that shift.
Right.
It is kind of like, wow, for sure. So I know that kind of scares people a little bit. And I think when you come from a place of goodness, good intent, and you use things like that in that direction, beautiful, bountiful things will happen.
I agree. Yeah, because you can use things for bad or you can use it for good, right?
Absolutely.
So, and I think even on the video side, because that's one area people are, like you said to me, if you're a videographer, you're like, oh my gosh, but it's not going to replace, like, how is it going to go into your business and shoot something? Like, you know what I mean? Like, like that's where it's not there. You still need the human side. Like, and I think that humans have adapted throughout our existence. Like, there's been new technologies. So like you said, like school, to me, AI and education is an interesting one. Yes. Like I could have hours of discussion. You have kids, Anita?
I do have kids.
So do they talk about AI at all in the school or day to day? Or
they do. And so my two youngest were just finishing high school last year and this year. So like AI started coming up. I had no idea they were using it until, the conversations were coming up when I was working away and doing things. And my son's like, oh yeah, let me show you, and he's the youngest in the family. Yeah. And it's incredible how his brain thinks and then how he uses it as a source of moving forward and growing. Yeah. He's a great entrepreneur as well.
I love it.
There.
Got it. Takes after mom.
He does. And his dad.
So what are you most excited about from, I don't know if you saw the speaker lineup. Is there a speaker you're super excited to listen to, or just generally what you're hoping to get out of that day?
What I'm hoping to get, I'm excited to hear all the speakers first and foremost. Cannot wait to meet them. Yeah. I'm really just looking to improve who I am as a human being in this technology, as a entrepreneur, as a community leader, as a change maker. Like I really believe that this summit, I know beyond believing, I know that it's going to be, I think it's going to blow my mind, and I can't wait to know how to navigate all those different areas. I'm using it at a very minimal scale right now. So I'm excited to use it on a much larger scale, because I think that will bring so much more growth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I think I'd mentioned before, I'm doing a course right now. One of the guys that'll be speaking, Kane Minkus, is and even just like I've been a ChatGPT user and I use it every day, but just going through the courses, and learning proper prompting and what to say and how to use it, and extensions have blown my mind. Just little tweaks to use, like, so to use it properly, to use it effectively. And one thing was interesting. I thought I read somewhere that you need to treat it like a human. You need to say thank you, please, whatever. And Kane's like, no, it actually will produce inferior work if you treat it that way.
Okay, so don't be kind.
No, because it said one day, he said one day it's going to come, you're going to say, could you please do that? And it's going to say no.
Okay, that's
and I'm
good
like,
to know.
that's interesting. Yeah, see, little things like that.
Because I do say thank you.
And I feel bad. I'm being very matter of fact talking to it now. And I'm like, oh, I feel bad. Like, I feel like a bad person doing it.
Because you're kind heart. That's why. Oh, my goodness. That's good. Thanks for that little tip. I didn't know that. I will also be.
Yeah, you're going to be firm now.
I will be firm.
Get this done. So you mentioned you use ChatGPT, but you've kind of dipped your toe. You're starting to use. Are you tried Claude, or you haven't yet?
I'm
just started.
Just starting and feeling a little bit like anything new. We've talked about this. Like, ooh, how do I navigate this? And I'll navigate it because I'll just ask. That's all I need to do.
Yeah.
You know the old saying, just ask for help. Yeah, so I'm excited.
For businesses, I think you mentioned when it first came out, you were a little hesitant to get started. Like, if someone's listening and they're the same way, they're like, is it going to replace me? Is it, I don't know what to do. Maybe it's an older generation that technology isn't their first love. What would you say to them? What's some encouragement you'd say for them to actually, test out what they could do?
Well, here's the thing. There is a saying that if you do something that you're afraid of, scared of, etc., do those things because they're going to help create neuro pathways. And so I have challenged myself regularly. Well, I challenge myself regularly on doing something that I'm scared to do, that I'm afraid of, etc. So what I would say to them is, if this is something you're worried about or think you can't grasp, one, reframe, sentence reframe, for sure. Start there on, like, how can we use this as something positive? How can we say this statement so we take the fear out of it and we take and embrace the knowledge in it of how it can help you live a more efficient life.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's really important.
That. I never thought of that. Interesting.
100%, because if we keep speaking like, fear, negativity, scared, that's what's going to show up.
Fair enough.
Go forward in what you're speaking. Like, if you want to move forward and you're stuck somewhere, like, go do that thing that you think is a roadblock. It's just something you have to walk around, literally, or walk through. I should say walk through when it comes to AI.
Fair enough.
Like, walk through it, because we always know, just like a workout at the gym, we never feel not good after working. I was like, oh, that was awesome. This is the same, but for your brain. This is like brain gym for you.
Yeah. Interesting. I love that answer, because no one's ever answered that way. It's such a mind shift, right? So, yeah.
It must be really in all things in life. As soon as you feel resistance to something, you need to acknowledge it. Like, okay, I'm resistant. Why am I resistant to this? Answer that. And what can I do to embrace it? Like, those are the three things I do when I'm feeling that, like, oh.
Do you feel like for your business, it's going to dramatically change your business? Like, do you know enough about AI? Like, because I don't, like, I don't think I'll ever be an expert. I don't know how much it's going to improve or affect or change I think it will, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah, and
so
you know what? You and I are in the same position, but here's how I think of it is I've seen already, I was in a meeting with my EA yesterday, and how it's helped her, because she was hesitant. I think there was like a little scarcity of people saying, oh, I use chat. I think people, because then they were going to think, well, people don't think I'm smart because I use chat. And now it's like, no, like, embrace it. And it has, so the answer is yes, I've seen the impact of change, of how it's helped my business to create all different things, content, news, helping with the newsletters, because we have the foundation of the newsletters. And it's like, okay, we've got everything, and then we run it through to tweak it. We don't just copy and paste it. We have to go through it and make it. So it's helped, like, my business immensely, again, on a very small scale.
Right.
So I can't wait for this summit, because I know it's going to blow my mind on how I can even do things smarter and easier
It's interesting.
And move forward.
That's a great way to look at it. So lastly, if anyone's sort of on the fence about, should I go to the summit? Should I not? I get it. It's a full day. It's a commitment to come for a full day, but it is learning. It's a good time. I say we're in September. We're back to school. So maybe we need to go back to school a little bit and learn.
Yes.
So what's some encouragement? What would you say to a business owner or somebody that's in the space that just wants to learn more?
Well, here's the thing. If you are someone that's in the space to learn more, if you are a business, if you are someone who is growing yourself as anything on social media, even if you don't have your own business, but you're growing yourself as a brand, like this is something actually you do not want to miss. If you are a business, you should buy tickets for your team. Like, seriously.
I didn't tell her to say this.
You didn't. This is just because I'm passionate about, no, you did not. But I remember when I was in the dental field, like our employer, our dentist would invest in us so that we could grow. And there was a reason why we were such a, excellent practice. And if you want to grow and move your business, you and your team to this summit. You're going to want to be there. We're going to be there.
100%.
And we're going to get to learn together and bounce ideas off of each other. That's the other thing. I think it's going to create a massive community of people being willing to share the vulnerability of like, hey, I don't really understand this and I want to learn. So get your tickets. You want to be here. Honestly, we need to fill this place up and sell it out because this is such a gift to have here in Kelowna. Usually people have to travel to Vancouver or Calgary 100%. For stuff like this. Yeah. Kelowna, we have it right here. So we want to see you there.
Nothing else to say. That's like mic drop right there.
There you go. Thanks for having me.
Brittany, thank you so much. And again, thank you for being a big proponent of this and sponsoring, coming on board and helping us. Because like I said, we can't do these without support like with companies like her. And for everyone, I'll do a little bit of plug. Make sure check out Anita's events, the 25th.
The 25th,
More details to come. So you have a couple that week. You'll get a couple great learning opportunities.
Absolutely. We can't wait to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks, Anita. Everyone else have a great day. Thanks.